Justin says Broncos took $85 million dead cap hit over 2 years with Russell. I get that, Justin. Some of you just can't put one and one together. Simple math is 1 + 1 = 2, Justin. And, there was a gentleman there that just said he tuned in for an edumacation. Let me give you an edumacation, young man. Since you obviously can't read a room, okay, because you have problems reading a room. You have a head coach that is trying to save his job. Most people wanted him fired anyways last year. So he's on a hot seat. You have a general manager that hired that coach and the coach prior, and it has not worked out. And the quarterback he drafted has become very injury prone, like it was billboarded in college. So he's now fighting for his job. The last thing they're going to do for the 700th time, for all of you that don't get it, they're trying to save their jobs. If they cut Tyreek Hill, they cut a chunk of salary. And then they have to cut players because they will lose cap space. So they're not rebuilding. The Broncos, when they cut Russell, they started their rebuild. Luckily for them, they drafted the right young quarterback and everything went well. And they still made the playoffs. But Sean Payton has proven way more than Mike McDaniel ever will. So Sean Payton had a 5-year guaranteed deal. And the first year he had to deal with Russell Wilson and he got rid of him. Because I'm sure that was part of the negotiations. Hey, listen, I'll give it a try, but if I got to get rid of him, I'll get rid of him. And then they knew it, and they were willing to take the hit because they were in the rebuilding phase. You are not in the rebuilding until you get the new coach, because these coaches are not in the rebuilding. If you decide to rebuild, you fire everyone. That's not what they're doing. They're moving forward, trying to save their asses. So whatever you guys think and want to change and this and that, the Broncos situation was completely different. This is why I'll say it now for the third time in the last 2 weeks. I'll explain it. Are you ready, Sean? The Miami Dolphins are 3 years away from starting the rebuild. Do you remember when I told you Byron Jones will be cut next year, and X will be cut 2 years from now? Remember when I told you that? Those of you that have been tuning in for a while. And you're like, how the fuck does he know that they're going to be cut 2 years from now? And they were. Okay? So I kind of understand the landscape and the financial problems. The Dolphins are tied to all kinds of salaries. They've blown their load, dude. So in order to rebuild, listen to me, you're going to go through this year of McDaniel and Greer. If they fail, then you will fire them. And then next year, which is year 2, you will bring in a new coach, maybe a new general manager, all of that. And then you will start to tear down because you still have to hang on to Tua. And I know next year I will take the questions, trade Tua, cut Tua. They can't. They're locked into Tua this year and next year like they're locked into Tyreek this year. They cannot. The cap hits would be crippling. But next year, if they have a new coach, then that coach does the Russell Wilson thing. He deals with Tua 1 year, and then the next year, which becomes the third year, they're cutting him and they're taking that other cap hit. And that's when the rebuild starts. 3 years from now. 3 years from now, we'll start the Miami Dolphins rebuild. Do you understand that? I'm going to try to explain it to you. And I guess I will have to do it over and over and over again. Okay? Because many others told you that Calais Campbell was coming back, and I told you there's no shot. He's going either to Baltimore or somebody that pays a 40-year-old a lot of money. The latter happened. Okay? They all told you that Wilkins, he'll get tagged or he'll get signed. I told you, no, he's gone. So I'm telling you what's going on here. Unfortunately, this is the position that we are in now. So either we need McDaniel and Greer to really succeed this year, or if not, prepare yourselves. You are doing nothing this year and next year. And then in year 3, we'll start the rebuild. And where it goes, we have no idea because we have no idea who you're hiring. So we're back on the hamster wheel. That's it. Okay? I know you don't want to hear that. You want to hear we're trading for Dalvin Cook or signing him or Jonathan Taylor. You don't want to hear that that's not going to happen. I get it. I understand. You don't want to hear that Teron Armstead will not come back here. But that's not what we do on this platform. It's not what we do. Okay? It's not what we do. And you can just check the track record. Am I going to miss? Once in a while, I'll miss. But more often than not, I'm going to be on target on this. So you're 3 years away from starting the rebuild. That's just it's fact. You can't get rid of Jalen Ramsey yet. You can't get rid of a bunch of the guys that you signed. You just signed them. You just gave them contracts. The Tua contract starts this year. There's no way you can get out of a ginormous contract in the first year. There's no way. You got to wait till the third year of it. And so we've got to go through this year, next year, and then into the third year. You're still going to take a monster cap hit, but at least you can kind of get out of it because it's your rebuild year. You can take the cap hit because it's a new coach, new front office. We it's the pass, the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel. Hey, Sean, this is the year that they got to take the cap hits. They released Ndamukong Suh. We're going to take a $19 million cap hit one year and a $13 million cap hit, which means, of course, for those of you that don't know the math, that means $32 million of cap space in 2 years was not used for players. You guys remember that? Okay. So you've been through all of this. You just refuse to, some of you, most of you out there that are on this platform, you're like, bro, this fucking guy knows his shit. And he's usually right about this crap. And damn, it sucks that he's telling me this, but damn, ask NorCal. NorCal's known me for over 20 years. And what drives NorCal crazy most of the time with the negative stuff is that I'm usually right on it. And he loves the fact that it's brutal honesty, but he's like, damn, dude. NorCal's told me that a couple times over the years. It's just, but he's been listening to me for 20 years.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.